Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV News. My name is Rebami Salako. We begin with headlines. Justice B. Tanyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja recuses herself from trial of Nnamdi Kanu in the terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government. Plus on the news, Nigerian Senate suspends plenary in honor of late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, who passed away during the annual recess of the National Assembly. From the international scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the war with Russia could end sooner than some people think. Details of that and more coming your way soon. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja has recused herself from the trial of self-acclaimed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu in the terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government. The judge on Tuesday opted out of the trial following the outburst of Kanu that he had no confidence and trust in the judge for justice. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that in the middle of Tuesday's proceedings, Kanu jumped up from the dock, shouted his lawyer Ali Jumako down and took over addressing the court. In the uproar that ensued, Kanu, after taking over the proceedings, announced that he no longer have confidence in Justice Binta Nyako and demanded that she recuse herself immediately. While Jumako was reluctant to sit down, Kanu repeatedly shouted on him to sit down, claiming it is an order. At this juncture, the thoroughly embarrassed Ejumako took his seat in obedience to his client's order. Kanu, shouting on top of his voice, turned to the judge and informed her that he has no confidence of getting justice in the treasonable charges she is handling. The Biafra Nation agitator also turned to the federal government's lawyer, Chief Adegboyega Wulumosan, accusing him of doing the federal government's bidding against the law. Awumolo argued that Kanu's outburst in the open court was just an observation in the face of the Supreme Court order that he should be prosecuted in the remaining 7-count charges against him. In a brief remark, Justice Binta Nyako said she would prefer another judge to handle the trial. The Supreme Court order notwithstanding, Kanu and its counsel, Aloy Jumako, spoke on the proceedings.
Common denominator in all of this is for our client to get fair hearing. And if this fair hearing cannot be guaranteed in this court, then we need to try another court. The Constitution is very clear on this. Section 36 made it very clear that he deserves, as of right, the adequate facility to prepare for his defense. And who prepares him for his defense? His defense counsel. But we're not being given the opportunity. The court did make some order, and the consequences of that order would have resulted in getting him adequately prepared.
And in 9 charges leveled against me, this place where I committed this crime was London, United Kingdom. Yes. When my lawyers came to see me, I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me. Because since this offense was committed in England, so they said. It's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it?
Before Kanu shuttled the trial, the federal government has announced that it was ready to open its case against the defendant and that the required witnesses were in court. Awumolo San asked the court to permit him to call his first witness and that the witness be shielded from public for security reasons. Moving on to other stories. Following the recent flood incidents that occurred across the country, the Federal Executive Council has deliberated and agreed on the immediate establishment of Disaster Relief Fund in order to build enough resilience response in any case such disasters associated with climate change. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy also hinted that President Tinubu has advised the Economic Stabilization Bill be sent to the National Assembly. This bill, the minister said, is a fiscal policy and tax reforms bill which emanated from the desire to open up vistas for economic development and employment opportunities. Meanwhile, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has announced a series of approval for the infrastructural development of the adjoining satellite town to the nation's federal capital. The first phase of such project approvals by the federal government focused on Gwagwalada and Buari area councils.
We all know the effort of the present government to improve an infrastructure of FCT and its environs, particularly the satellite towns. Prior to this period, we know the level of decay of the infrastructure in FCT, and in most cases, government had never thought it wise to take development to the satellite towns.
Allocation of time to discuss the unfortunate, the sad, and very devastating disaster, flood disaster in Borno State. We all agreed and felt that it was extremely appropriate that, led by Mr. President, we focused on, first of all, the sad loss of life and expressing condolences to the relatives who had lost loved ones.
Federal Executive Council approved the purchase of 2,000 John Deere tractors and 100 combined harvesters. The tractors are going to come with implements, that is the 5-ton trailer, plows, and also harrows. So the amount is $70 million for all the equipments, and delivery period is 6 months. So council approved purchase.
Now we have Abiola Ali, an economic expert, joining us live from Ibadan, Oyo State capital, to talk on these issues. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us at this time.
Good evening, thanks for having me.
Okay, all right. So during yesterday's FEC meeting, the council hinted that the economic stabilization bill will be sent to the National Assembly. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, this is the right step in the right direction, because I mean we know that the economy has been witnessing downturn. What government are doing is not reflecting. I mean, in the towns. So what they want to do is going to bring a lot of succor to Nigerians, and is going to assist in enhancing economic stability and growth of the economy of Nigeria.
Okay, all right. So what do Nigerians stand to gain from this development if it passes the scrutiny of the National Assembly?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I mean, before now, we've been crying that we need liquidity in Nigeria. It will assist the CBN to attract funds from international organizations into Nigeria. It will assist CBN to attract funds from remittances into Nigeria. We know that in the past, we used to have huge amount of money as remittances to Nigeria. Up until recently that the figure has come down. But with this new bill, it's going to assist the CBN to, to bring in remittances to Nigeria. That is one. Number two is that it also go a long way to assist the CBN to the Foreign Exchange Act. CBN Foreign Exchange Act will also be affected in this way, and it will benefit Nigerians in this way. It will also ensure that Nigerians who are skillful, who have the expertise, I mean, it will assist them to provide services to foreign companies right here in Nigeria. And with that, those companies will not necessarily need to register in Nigeria. And of course, when by this, it will boost employment in Nigeria. It will also assist the economy to grow.
That at this point in time, a lot of Nigerians are really needing instant gratification. So do you think that this would help Nigerians get that instant relief that they need from all these economic troubles that we have in the country?
Well, this is just one of the steps to achieving, one of the steps to achieving economic stability for Nigeria. There are other steps that government needs to take. One is that we need to boost production. We import most of the things that we use in Nigeria from overseas, and this is not good for our balance of payments. So it's important that the government encourages production. And how do they do that? They can do that by encouraging those people that are into export business to export their goods outside Nigeria. And those ones that can provide services to other international companies in Nigeria, they should be able to give them the opportunity to be able to do so. And of course, we need to also look at the rate of inflation. We need to tame the inflation. Yes, in the last 2 months, we've witnessed a reduction in the rate of inflation, but we need to do more to be able to reduce the rate of inflation by ensuring that we use effective monetary and fiscal policy to reduce inflation. So if we're able to do that, I'm sure the ordinary man on the streets of Nigeria will feel it that the government is doing something about its own cause. So a situation where you just leave masses on one side and you feel you are doing something and there's a gap between you and the masses. They don't even know what you are doing. Government must be able to bridge the gap between what is doing between the government and those people that are being governed, because they don't seem to see what the government is doing. And of course, when you are doing something, the people on the street should be able to feel what you are doing. Currently, people are not feeling it, and that's why we have hunger, and that's why people are angry. So government must be able to ensure that there's a big gap between what is doing and the effect on the masses. So government should be able to do that. If the government does that, I'm sure the masses will feel the government more. But as we speak, masses are not feeling the government more. Things are very, very expensive in the market and people are hungry, they are also angry.
Okay, all right. We thank you so much for sharing your views with us on Galaxy TV News.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and that's Abiola Ali, an economic expert who joined us live from Ibadan, to your state capital. Now moving on to other stories. The Nigerian Senate has suspended plenary in honor of late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, who passed away during the annual recess of the National Assembly. The Red Chamber resumed this plenary session on Tuesday following the annual recess that began in late July. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, read several correspondence from President Bola Tinubu. The communications included the Supplementary Appropriation Bill for the Federal Capital Territory Administration, the nomination of Justice Kudirat Kekereekun for confirmation as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and a request for the confirmation of commissioners for the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
This note, may I now invite our distinguished colleagues to rise, observe a minute silence in honor of distinguished Senator Ifeanyi Ubah.
After the formalities, the lawmakers paid tribute to late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah by observing a moment of silence. Senator Obabu passed away in late July 2024 at 52, represented the Anambra South Senatorial District and chaired the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream. Following the tribute, the plenary session was adjourned to honor the late senator's legacy.
We remain resolute in our commitment to ensuring the development of our great nation. Very unfortunately, in the course of the break, this sad news of a very vibrant, distinguished colleague, a man who exuded so much candor.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Nigeria has reaffirmed commitment to fostering stronger international partnership and deepening relations with member states of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, or ACPS, on the sidelines of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is representing President Bola Tinubu at the ongoing global event, stated this at a high-level OACPS meeting chaired by Angola. Reiterating the importance of solidarity among member states in the face of numerous global challenges, the Vice President emphasized Nigeria's commitment to the organization's goals while addressing pressing national concerns. He said Nigeria remains a principal partner of OACPS, championing its shared values of democracy, diaspora engagement and development. The VP reaffirmed Nigeria's support for CPS initiatives, including the organization's focus on Haiti's ongoing crisis. While acknowledging Kenya's contribution of 400 troops to Haiti, he highlighted Nigeria's historical role in South-South cooperation. Earlier, the Secretary General of OACPS, Georges Rubello Pinto Chikoti, lauded Nigeria as a motor of OACPS and an important member state. Chikoti noted that the meeting aimed to strengthen cooperation with Nigeria and expressed gratitude for the country's significant contributions. Governorship candidate of the Labour Party in the just concluded governorship election in Edo State, Olumide Akpata, has attributed vote buying as a major cause of manipulation. The Labour Party candidate made this known in Benin City while briefing journalists on his position after the elections. According to him, the foundation of the manipulations recorded during the election was vote buying.
The starting point was vote buying. It established a platform where other things could now take place. Yes, there must have been manipulation. But I am saying, as I said in the course of my address, vote buying and selling provided the perfect foundation for any manipulation that may have occurred. If we did not do it, if the people did not lend themselves to this perfidy, or if the buyers did not participate.
Meanwhile, more reactions have continued to trail the just concluded governorship elections in Edo State, with residents speaking on the peaceful conduct of the poll. This is coming as many thought there would be violence during the electioneering process to the post-election. Speaking to our correspondent in Benin City, a public affairs analyst says the peaceful atmosphere was divine, as the pensioner advised the incoming governor to emulate Governor Obaseki on payment of pension benefits. Now we move to the international desk for the news.
Hello and welcome to Foreign News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said the war with Russia could end sooner than some people think. Speaking to U.S. broadcaster, Zelensky also said that the victory plan he will present to U.S. President Joe Biden this week will capture Ukraine's allies to strengthen the Ukrainian army. Zelensky said the plan is not about negotiating with Russia, but rather it is a bridge to a diplomatic way out to stop the war. He added that Ukraine can only push Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the conflict if Kyiv is coming from a strong position. On Tuesday, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia was being cautious about media reports of a Ukrainian plan and added that the conflict would only end when Russia's aims were achieved.
And that's it for now. Do join us at 9 p.m. for our primetime news. My name is Ribami Salako. See you then.